there are people, I even told you this, we're just about to put this up on the website in the next minute.
Just.
In the next minute. There are people who have contributed up to $100,000 to see Hillary Clinton tomorrow night in LA. And it looks like they're not going to see her, but they've already paid the money. So we're going to explain that in a minute. But first, we got George Clooney today in D.C., and we asked him about the whole thing with Hillary. Not sure why he's there, but it's interesting. He says he's going to work. So listen to this, and here's his feeling about the whole health scare.
George, being a big Hillary supporter, does that health scare bother you right now? George, does her health scare bother you
I'm wishing her very well. Here, take that straight. I gotta go to work.
George, but it's no more denying that she has pneumonia. They say she has pneumonia, George. Does it bother you? George, are you still behind her?
Okay.
Still behind Hillary. George looking very handsome in Washington, D.C.
What did he mean, I'm going to work? He's in D.C.
I know he said that too. You know, he's been there a lot. He does a lot of charity work. With his dad, a lot of charity work with refugees.
Well, he also does stuff for African countries. He's really involved. But clearly behind Hillary. Now, there are other people behind Hillary from Hollywood who are rich and famous, and they have shelled out a ton of money to see her tomorrow night. You remember, you may have heard in the news that she is supposed to come to California tomorrow.
But she canceled her trip.
Turns out, we found out they're for 2 fundraisers, and she was standing to make a lot of money. There was going to be a lunch at Seth MacFarlane's house, and the figures depend on what kind of access you get to her. But if you pay $33,000 for the lunch, you can rub elbows with Hillary.
And Harvey, I mean, probably if you know how these go, you've ever seen these events, especially at Seth MacFarlane's house, tons of celebrities show up to those things. Most of those people pay the amount to have a picture with her, which, like you said, $33,400. The problem is we're canceling the day before, so most of those people, including all the celebrities, have already paid the money.
You know why they paid, Mike? I found out because I talked to somebody involved in this. They paid because you need to get Secret Service clearance, and you can't get the clearance until you pay the money. So everybody's paid.
Right, and there's another event that night, Harvey, a dinner at Barry Diller's house and Diane von Furstenberg that was $100,000 a couple. Same exact thing. Tons of celebrities, very wealthy people that have already had to pay the $100,000, and so she's sick and can't do.
I'd like to get my money back.
I honestly, though, I'm trying to put myself.
Absolutely, because the richest people are the cheapest people in the world.
They would never do that.
I guarantee you, someone's on the phone right now.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not in that position, but if I was, I want my picture with Hillary. I mean, that's why I'm paying $100.
She'll come back. Everybody.
You better come to my house and give me my picture, Hillary, if I'm paying $100,000.
Maybe she'll come back, but there is no way any of these guys are calling.
100%. There is a
100%
rich person's assistant on the phone right now.
No way.
There's a couple rich people on the phone right now.
There is no way. Now, the buzz is that Bill Clinton may show up as a surrogate. Does that cut it?
If I can drink with Bill, yes.
Not for me personally, but you know what? I'd be okay with it. Because these people are, by the way, we're talking about people that $33,000 is a lot to me. I was going to say you and I, but to me. But like.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But to these people, I mean,
well, then they're not going to ask for their money back.
I don't know. Rich people can be cheap, though.
Hi, guys. It's Grace in Atlanta. It's never been a secret that George Clooney was always a Hillary supporter, and I'm glad to see he's not wavering now. But the fact is she can't help that she got sick, so some of her engagements will have to be canceled. She shouldn't be blamed for that, and people really can't get mad because it's kind of part of the game because things do happen. I hope people forgive her.
Aww.
The issue is really just the transparency of saying it's pneumonia as opposed to the way it kind of unfolded.
And she'll probably redo these events, correct? In your opinion, you think she'll redo them?
Yeah.